Two of England's most experienced and battle-hardened internationals, Ben Youngs and Dan Cole, have sparked debate across the rugby world after unveiling their list of the 10 hardest players to ever step onto a rugby field. The pair, both legends of the English game and longtime teammates at Leicester, were responding to a fan question on their Popular for the Love of Rugby show. The challenge? To name rugby's ultimate, triple hardby **** guards, a term they use to describe players who go beyond physical toughness and embody relentless aggression, fearlessness, and an uncompromising edge. What followed was a fascinating and often humorous discussion, as the duo debated, reminisced, and ultimately revealed a list that blends global icons with cult heroes. Players known as much for their intimidation factor as their skill, defining triple hard. Before diving into the rankings, Youngs took a moment to explain what qualifies a player for such an elite and brutal category. A triple hard player, he said, is not just physically tough. Nor are they simply durable or aggressive. Instead, they combine physicality, mentality, and a willingness to confront anything, or anyone, on the pitch. These are players who thrive in collisions, dominate the breakdown, and never back down from confrontation. It's a rare breed. And as Youngs admitted, narrowing it down to just 10 names was no easy task. Interestingly, their final list raised eyebrows for its omissions. Notably absent were players from traditional rugby powerhouses like New Zealand and Ireland. Instead, the list heavily favored South African forwards, renowned for their physical dominance, while also shining a spotlight on players from less globally celebrated rugby nations. Starting at number 10, Julian White. Kicking off the list at number 10 was former England prop Julian White. White was known during his playing days for his scrummaging power and fiery temperament. However, Youngs humorously noted that the man he once feared on the field appears to have mellowed in retirement. Now a farmer, White has traded in the intensity of international rugby for a quieter life working with cattle. Youngs joked that after sharing a drink with him at a Leicester reunion, he saw no sign of aggression, suggesting that White has left his on-field persona behind. Still, his reputation during his playing career earns him a deserved spot on the list. Number 9, Courtney Lawes. At number 9 sits Courtney Lawes, one of England's most respected modern forwards. Lawes built his career on bone-crunching tackles and relentless work rate. Cole highlighted his all-around contributions, his jackling ability, ball carrying, and physical presence in the maul, as key reasons for his inclusion. Youngs also acknowledged the toll Lawes' physicality took on opponents, joking that he owes him a huge amount for how his body feels today, despite being ninth. Both players agreed that Lawes is among England's greatest back rowers and a player whose impact goes far beyond statistics. Positions 8 to 5, the powerhouses. The middle section of the list is dominated by some of the most physically imposing figures in modern rugby, particularly from South Africa. Number 8, Eben Etzebeth. At 8 is Eben Etzebeth, a towering lock known for his aggression and presence. Etzebeth's size and physicality make him one of the most intimidating players in the game. Number 7, Jasper Wiese. Next is Jasper Wiese, a player both Youngs and Cole know well from their time at Leicester. Wiese's fearless ball carrying and willingness to run into contact repeatedly made him an easy inclusion. Youngs described him as one of the hardest men he has ever played with, someone who transforms from a friendly teammate off the field into an absolute animal once the game begins. Number 6, Thierry Dusautoir. At 6 sits Thierry Dusautoir, a legend of French rugby. While not as physically large as others on the list, Dusautoir earned his place through sheer work rate, bravery, and consistency. Cole pointed out that, pound for pound, Dusautoir might be the toughest of them all, a testament to his relentless style of play. Number 5, Duane Vermeulen. Rounding out this group is Duane Vermeulen, a World Cup winning number 8, widely regarded as one of the best in his position. Described as a monster by Cole, Vermeulen combined physical dominance with exceptional skill, making him a nightmare for opponents in both attack and defense. The top 4, rugby's ultimate enforcers. If the middle of the list showcased power, the top 4 represents the very essence of triple hard. These are players whose reputations were built on fearlessness, aggression, and a willingness to go to the edge, and sometimes beyond. Number 4, Chris Hala'ufia. At 4 is Chris Hala'ufia, perhaps the least globally recognized name on the list but one that carries immense respect among those who played against him. Cole admitted that Hala'ufia was the player he would least want to run at, highlighting his devastating tackling and physicality. However, Youngs joked that his career was often interrupted by suspensions, which may explain why he is less well known. Number 3, Jacques Burger. Third place goes to Jacques Burger, a player synonymous with fearless defense. Burger's style was defined by his willingness to put his body on the line, often in positions others would avoid. Cole humorously pointed to his facial features as evidence of the punishment he endured, noting that Burger had no fear when it came to physical confrontation. Despite playing for Namibia, a nation outside rugby's traditional elite, Burger earned widespread respect during his time in club rugby, particularly in the Premiership. Number 2, Henry Tuilagi. Runner-up is Henry Tuilagi, a player whose physicality became the stuff of legend. Tuilagi's reputation as a destructive ball carrier and enforcer made him one of the most feared players of his era. His presence alone could shift the momentum of a game, and his inclusion near the top of the list comes as no surprise. Number 1, Bakkies Botha. The ultimate enforcer. Taking the top spot is Bakkies Botha, a player widely regarded as one of the most intimidating figures in rugby history. Botha's career was defined by his uncompromising style. Whether in the scrum, at the breakdown, or in open play, he brought an intensity that few could match. Youngs and Cole were unanimous in their decision, describing him as the ultimate, triple hard player. They even joked that he is the kind of person you wouldn't want to encounter in a dark alley, let alone on a rugby field. Interestingly, Cole pointed out that despite his reputation, Botha managed to maintain discipline within the evolving laws of the game. While there were moments of controversy, his toughness was rooted not just in aggression but in relentless physical commitment. Would these players thrive today? The conversation also turned to whether players like Botha could succeed in the modern game, which has become more regulated and safety-conscious. Cole believes the answer is a resounding yes. While the nature of physicality in rugby has evolved, there will always be a place for players who bring intensity and dominance to the contest. Today's game may have fewer fights, but the need for players who can impose themselves physically remains unchanged. He emphasized that being hard is not just about fighting, it's about resilience, work rate, and the willingness to keep going, no matter the circumstances. A reflection of rugby's physical culture. This list is more than just a ranking, it's a celebration of a particular type of player. Those who embrace the toughest aspects of rugby, who thrive in collisions, and who inspire both fear and respect. It also highlights the diversity of the sport. From South Africa's powerhouses to Samoa's enforcers and Namibia's fearless warriors, toughness in rugby comes in many forms and from many places. Final rankings. Here is the complete list as selected by Youngs and Cole. 1, Bakkies Botha. 2, Henry Tuilagi. 3, Jacques Burger. 4, Chris Hala'ufia. 5, Duane Vermeulen. 6, Thierry Dusautoir. 7, Jasper Wiese. 8, Eben. Etzebeth. 9, Courtney Lawes. 10, Julian White. Conclusion. In the end, Young's and Cole's list is as much about personality and presence as it is about performance. These are players who left lasting impressions, not just through their achievements, but through the way they played the game. Their selections may spark debate, and perhaps even controversy, but one thing is certain, every name on that list represents the very toughest edge of rugby union.